Hello, officers and members of the Oxford Police Department. My name is Cheryl Ryan Chan. My son Nicholas, better known as Nicky, lives in Oxford at 25 Heritage Drive. I'm making this video to reintroduce Nicky to the department and share some important information. See, Nicky lives with what is now called profound autism. You may have heard it referred to as low-functioning autism, severe autism, nonverbal autism. Nicky's autism is combined with some pretty significant intellectual disabilities. And unfortunately, Nicky presents with intense behavioral responses to anxiety, fear, and confusion. And these can include aggression toward others or self-injurious behavior. But as I like to remind people, if you weren't able to communicate any of your needs or wants, you'd probably be the same. You know, I usually don't like to introduce Nicky by starting with all the things that are wrong with him. But it's important to share this information to you all because there may come a time when you meet Nicky and his caregivers, and whether it's an emergency you're responding to or you just see him out in the community, you may see things that could be unintentionally misinterpreted or mishandled without the information that I'm going to share with you today. Now, I'm a leader in the disability community across Massachusetts, and I'm a public speaker and trainer on caregiving for adults with disabilities. So I know of too many stories of unfortunate or tragic outcomes between police officers and citizens like Nicky. While there are trainings for first responders, and these have become very popular and widely used, I believe the most effective way to eliminate the possibility of those outcomes is to advocate for those trainings and also provide personal introductions to build relationships of understanding and trust right in the communities where our loved ones live. Nicky moved into his current home in Oxford nearly 13 years ago. I know a few of you were in the department back then, but I think there are many more now who weren't there back then for that first introduction. So I felt it would be time to reintroduce Nicky, like I said earlier. Now, I visited the department for that purpose recently, and I met with Sergeant Jason and Lieutenant Jeremy. And at that meeting, I distribute a one-page profile sheet of Nicky, and I am confident that it has been made available to everyone, or it will be pretty soon. I am so appreciative of these two officers for their warm welcome and enthusiasm for supporting Nicky and Ben. Now, I haven't even mentioned him by name yet, so who is Ben? Well, Ben is Nicky's caregiver and his best friend. They live together in Oxford in a housing model called shared living. In this model, unlike in a group home, Nicky is the only person at the house with disabilities, and he lives with a caregiver. And typically in a shared living model, the person lives with a caregiver and their family. But they are the only person who's disabled in the house. In Nicky's case, it's more like a bachelor pad. Ben and Nicky share a life of deep mutual love and respect. My husband and I could never ask for a better person than Ben to provide Nicky with a joyful, dignified life. So we absolutely love Ben. And also in Nicky's life are 2 to 3 other guys who come to support Ben and Nicky every day so they can go out safely into the community and attend events and activities and see friends. So there's Nicky and Ben and all of their friends on Heritage Drive. Very quickly, I would like to review and further explain a couple of things on the document that was shared with you, and I've got it right here. There are 5 sections on this document, and they are titled Fun Things to Know, Important Things to Know, How to Support Me If You Come to Help, Diagnoses, and Emergency Contacts. Now, those last 2 are pretty self-explanatory. The diagnoses listed will provide some explanation to any first responder like an EMT in the event of an injury. Fun things to know on this document are exactly that. The little things that can help paint a picture of Nicky as the fun-loving foodie and YouTube expert that he is. These will also give you some good ideas on how to keep Nicky engaged in favorite activities if he is ever in your custody, and or if Ben is unable to be present and advocate and speak for Nicky. Let's take a look at the two most important sections. These two sections are called Important Things to Know and How to Support Me If You Come to Help. Let's review them real quickly. My birthday is November of 1992. I live with a caregiver. His name is Ben, and he is my best friend. Ben and I also have staff who comes and helps. His name is Abu, and he is also my best friend. Sometimes there are also other staff who come help once in a while. I am nonverbal. I have significant intellectual disabilities. I can be very aggressive towards people when I am scared. I also hurt myself a lot, so I wear a hockey helmet because I hit my head on things. My forehead has a lot of scarring. I won't be able to answer your questions, and I can't follow verbal directions when I'm stressed. I have grand mal seizures every once in a while, and I am on medications for seizures and to manage my anxiety. Let's look at how to support me if you come to help. My caregivers know how to properly support me, including restraint techniques and de-escalation strategies that work for me. Please do not interfere unless you are asked to. Now, I added this part to how to support me if you come to help, because this is really key. The people who know Nicky are also trained as his caregivers to help with safe restraint techniques and de-escalation procedures. So there's a chance that, let's say, you get a call and you respond to the property or to somewhere where they are in the community, and the optics can be very, very difficult to take a look at. It may be that Ben and the staff are down on the ground or in basket holds with Nicky on the floor, trying to restrain him. It's important for you to understand that they're not hurting him. They are trying to both keep him safe, everyone else safe, themselves safe, and to help Nicky calm down. So they know what they're doing. There's a chance that maybe a neighbor or a bystander has called you because this looks rather disturbing. So in any case, if you need to respond to Nicky and his caregivers in an emergency or crisis, if you see this happening, please do not jump in to help unless you are asked to do so. The staff will ask you if they do need help. Otherwise, please stand by, ask if you can help, but otherwise wait until things are a little bit safer and Nicky is calmer and the situation can be diffused. Let's go back to the rest of the list. I am not being non-compliant if I don't follow directions. I am not being threatening if I come towards you. In fact, I'm seeking comfort and connection. If I aggress on you, it's because I'm really scared. This is also really, really important to know. Nicky really values and feels comforted and safe when he is able to make a connection with the person, regardless of whether things are fine or if there's a stressful situation that he's in. It is really, really important that you understand that this is just a need to connect. Now, am I guaranteeing that he will never actually turn that into aggression on you? Absolutely not. The only case where there wouldn't be proper support for Nicky would be if Ben, his caregiver, or the staff that's with him is incapable for some reason, medical or otherwise, absent of being able to be the voice for Nicky. So these things are important, although it's very unlikely that you're ever going to have to be concerned about being a part of any sort of restraint or physical support for Nicky. My legal guardians are my parents, but the home staff have permission to make medical decisions if they cannot be reached. See below. Our contact information is on the document. I know how to point to pictures of things I want or need or like. I better understand what people tell me if they use pictures. If I say, all done, which sounds a lot like all done, it means please stop what you're doing. If I say, help, help, which sounds a lot like help, 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 and point, it means I want what I'm pointing to. Finally, my medical team is at UMass University campus. So those are really important things to know about what you can expect and who Nicky is, what he responds best to, and what is important to him. And under that heading, it's about connection. Now, under fun things, I also give you a little bit of information of the fun stuff, truly, about Nicky. But as I mentioned earlier, there's a second reason for providing some of this information. And that is because, as you'll see in a second as we review it, a lot of it gives you hints about some of the things that might be helpful should you ever need to participate in supporting Nicky. So let's go over those really quick. 1, I love classic Disney movies and music. It's got to be the classics. It's the Cinderella, it's the Snow White, it's the Aladdin, it's the Fox and the Hound, it's the stuff from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Don't get too new. That's boring and not nearly as cool. Says Nicky. I like it when people smile at me to comfort me. I like it when people imitate my laugh when I laugh in front of them. It helps me feel like you like me. I'm very clean and organized at home. I love food, but I can't have dairy products. Just FYI. He's not deathly allergic, but it gives him some tummy stuff. And finally, I'm excellent at surfing on YouTube for Disney movie clips. I want to go back to this third one. I like it when people imitate my laugh when I laugh in front of them. It helps me feel like you like me. Now, this is a little bit critical, and I'm bringing this forward because my mind was a little bit blown when I was talking with Sergeant Jason and Lieutenant Jeremy, because I was demonstrating this like I will in just a second, but the directive for you is to imitate him back. And it was really important that I said that because both of those officers said, wow, okay, because I wouldn't have done that because I would have felt like I was mocking him. So let me demonstrate what this means. Nicky will come towards you, get probably a little bit into your personal space, maybe still at a distance, but he will make full eye contact with you and he will go like this. Ha-ha, ha-ha, ha, ha, ha. And he will do that multiple times. He is looking for a connection to you. And when you imitate him back, then you are making that connection that he is looking for. And it makes him feel more safe and it makes him feel like you're okay and that you like him. These are really critical to keeping Nicky calm. Okay, so look at it this way. Nicky doesn't have the words to be able to say, hi, are you safe? Am I safe? Am I going to be okay? Do you like me? In the absence of being able to just verbalize any of those things in the way that you or I would in a anxious state of mind, he has to resort to these kinds of things. So please feel free. You are not mocking him. You are, in fact, supporting him by imitating that cute little laugh that he does. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. So if he does that, you go like this. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And he might do it back and forth quite often. But again, this is a self-soothing technique that's really important for Nicky. So that's it. That's what I wanted to present. I wanted to help you get a better understanding of Nicky. And I think, hopefully, I've demonstrated why that's really important. Nicky is a fun-loving, wonderful citizen of the Oxford community. He's happy to be there. We're thrilled with the historical 12 years that we've had in the Oxford community, with the connections that we've been able to make with first responders and the Oxford Police Department. So thank you very much for spending the time to listen to this video and to learn more about Nicky. The contact information is on that document, and I welcome any sort of contact that's just about further questions or further conversations that you'd like to have. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful rest of your shift.